Hi, I'm Dr. Shellie Hipsky, and my mission in life is really to globally educate, entertain, and inspire. And I do that through my books. I'm an author of 5 books. I'm a professor here at Robert Morris University. I work predominantly with future aspiring teachers. Then there's the entertainment part. So that comes into some of my philanthropic work that I do for the Homeless Children's Education Fund when I put on big gala events and entertain the masses. We've raised over $30,000 for the kids in the shelters. But when I do these things, it's always like, this is an invisible problem. Like, who do I have stand up there and say, I was homeless? And it's hard to find someone to do that, but Roy Juarez Jr. can stand up there proudly and say, I was homeless, and this is my story. When he was 14 years old, he was homeless. He was couch surfing, and he was not just doing it by himself, but he was also doing it with his baby brother Ray, who was 2 years old, and his sister Danielle. So going into an actual shelter to help out with Roy was just absolutely amazing. It was an amazing experience because he could connect with the people, and he knows where they can get because he is a college graduate now and a businessman. Whoopies are awesome. I mean, they're being picked up by celebrities. They're being seen in the top magazines for celebrity moms and those type of things because they're so plush and gorgeous. These Whoopie sisters, we call them sisterpreneurs because they work together out of lovemywhoopie.com. So they've taken their baby blankets, and for every blanket that a person like myself or you would buy, they give one to a child in need. So they've gone into the LA homeless shelters, they've gone to Zimbabwe and given them to the babies that are orphaned due to AIDS. And I got the great honor of being able to go with my little daughter, my little 4-year-old, and go into the homeless shelters and give them whoobies. But it went beyond that for me because I not only got to give them the whoobies, I also got to read them a story. I'm a teacher from way back, and I love to read a good kids book to kids. I love to write. I've been doing it for a long time, and I've written over 100 articles, and I wrote my first, I would say, 4 books, predominantly in the education realm because, I'm a teacher of teachers. That's what I do. I went on a talk show, Ray Leonard's radio show that's in 75 countries, and I started talking to him about the 4th book on mentoring with my co-author, Claudia Bavaro. And when we were doing that, I started to think, maybe there's something to this. There's all these inspirational people that are being interviewed by him. And then he said, I want you to get in touch with this woman, Clarelle Radicello. So I started talking to her about her story, and I got so moved that tears were just coming down my face. I had to take that cell phone, put it down, and put it on speaker, and just start typing like a maniac. And it was then that I knew, I was like, there are stories here. There are stories here that need to be told. Well, Clarelle is actually in the book. She's featured in the book. And before it came out, Clarelle had a brain aneurysm and cancer. And it was really it was on her heart that her stories be told. But she has an amazing story of being a single mom and now passing on her legacy to other mothers and women that are out there. I mean, I can't imagine anybody not being touched by that story. But there's so many amazing stories in the book of people who have conquered obstacles, who have met with adversity, and have just gotten over that mountain and gone on to do these amazing things. At a young age, I realized that I had to give back, and I had to teach. At 4th grade, we went on a school and workshop to what they then called a school and workshop for the mentally retarded. And I got back home, and I said to my mom, we're in the kitchen, I said to my mom, I said, Mom, if anybody's gonna have a kid who's mentally retarded, it should be me. Her mouth just dropped. She's like, what are you talking about? But she went back and she's stirring her spaghetti. And I go play for a little while, and I come back, and she says to me, Shellie, maybe someday you'll teach those kids. When I was 12 years old, I went back during the summer session and went to that school and workshop that I had gone to on the field trip. When I was there was this little girl who just fascinated me. Her name was Wendy. And she would just do this humming like, and dance around the room. We couldn't get her to speak. We couldn't get a lot of eye contact. We couldn't get much of anything. And so I went to the teacher and I said, and this was a teacher that was pretty burnt out at this point. I said, I want to teach Wendy how to talk. I want to teach her how to speak. And she said, oh, Shellie, you're never going to teach her how to speak. In fact, you shouldn't work with this kind of kid because it's just going to drive you to drink. So I was like, okay, clearly this wasn't going to be the person that was going to show me how to be a teacher. But what she did do was she gave me 2 little chairs and an itty bitty broom closet so that I could sit there and try to teach Wendy. So day after day, I would take my hand and I'd go, and I would have her go, and go back to me again. And we would put hand on the throat, we'd go back and forth and back and forth. And it would get so exhausting. And there was points, of course, all parents and all teachers go through this at some point. Is it really going to happen? Am I going to get through it to her? And then there was this one moment, after weeks and weeks of working with her in this itty bitty closet, and she said, hello. The moment that I knew I had to be a teacher, that I had to work with people and I had to give back, was that day when her mom came to pick her up from school, and her baby girl, who she was told she was never going to talk, said hello to her mother.